Hey everybody, how's it going? Our House 21 here, and it's time for another quick update. Now this time, this is a quick update for a lot of work, so I'm just gonna go ahead and dive in. So you see in front of me, we got my fleet. You've got Dizzy, Slade, and you have Scratch. Scratch is the basher. Dizzy and Slade are my speed run cars. You guys are really familiar with these guys from my videos in the past. However, they're not the same as they were before. And those of you who've been following along, you've seen from my last set of updates that I had big plans in store for the power systems in these guys. So let me just jump right on in. So the first thing I'll go ahead and show is Dizzy, new and improved. Now, I don't know if you can really tell here, but if you look in here, last time I showed you guys, I picked up a couple of Mamba Monster. Well, actually, they were Traxxas MXL6 electronic speed controllers, which are just rebadged Mamba Monsters. So this guy's all in, and it took a little bit of doing to get him in there. You can't really see here, but this guy got upgraded with a Council Creations 1512 2650 kV motor, and as you can see, it's a pretty tight fit. And this motor is actually quite a bit longer than the 1410 that used to be in here. So in order to make it work, I ended up, and by the way, the speed controller is quite a bit bigger as well. So there was just enough room to get this guy in and get him in butted side to side, but not enough room for him to sit all the way down. So as you see, he's kind of floating in here. Now, how did I pull that off? Well, the guys of you who own Slashes know that they ship with these foam pads that help you to kind of balance out, the space between your battery over here, so that your battery packs don't slide all around. But since I use a foam pad underneath here, I don't need that pad. So I was able to repurpose it into a pedestal here. So I secure my ESCs with Velcro. So if you can hear it peel back a little bit, I'll just peel this back. So you can see, I went ahead and double-sided that piece of foam into place and put my industrial strength Velcro on the top of it. So now it makes a nice custom fit ESC stand, which allows that to sit perfectly. And I've got my oversized Mamba Monster CC blower in here to provide cooling air. So Dizzy is good to go. So like I said, when the weather gets good around here, actually honestly it hasn't been too bad, except for the fact that it's just cold. So given the experience I've had in the cold before, I'm just going to wait until the temperatures are a little bit more conducive to speed runs. But given the extra oomph for the motor and the high current capacity of the of the ESC, I'm really excited to get this guy back on the streets. So jumping over here to Slade has also gotten his new ESC all together, and as you see, I took the time to make the wires pretty. So in the last video, I kind of gave you a rundown of what I had to do in order to make this guy work. So now you see it's all in. Again, I Velcro my speed controllers down. He fits perfectly in the stock location, plenty of clearance with the body on. So he again is ready to roll. As you can see, he's mocked up here with my brand new SMC 5000 milliamp hour 3S LiPo pack. So again, when the weather gets good, I think that Slade and Dizzy are both going to be laying down some really good numbers. So I'm very excited about all that. So lastly, over here on Scratch has even got a little bit of work done to him lately. So just to kind of fill you in, Scratch before had the Sidewinder SCT speed controller in it, which is the same thing as a Sidewinder 3. The deal is though, the SCT speed controller that was on here I kept having overheating problems. I rigged up a custom cooling fan, which is very large diameter, high CFM blower to blow extra cooling air, but I was still getting the shutdowns. So just to, but I was noticing that, same C controller on Slade downs at all. So what I figured is that this little fan here, even though he's smaller in diameter, it's a very high RPM, very high CFM aftermarket electronics cooling unit that I picked off of Amazon. So I figured that as improbable as it sounds, this little guy was outperforming that huge monster that I. So sorry for the abrupt change in venue, but as I was editing, I discovered that my video file got corrupted somehow. So I had to reshoot the tail end of the video here. But as I was starting to say, that strangely enough, this little fan right here, this guy's a rock star. So like I said, I picked up off of Amazon. Just it's a bulk electronics fan, but it's high CFM brushless motor. I think it may be by a company called Evergreen, but I'm not sure. But it rocks. I don't even think that this guy's available anymore, but there's some other ones that are pretty good. So it definitely seemed to keep Slade cool run after run after run. So I'm hoping that in the basher configuration it will do just fine. And as you guys remember, Dizzy is my last remaining carbon Kevlar body. So, I'm probably going to be going out and doing a lot of cold weather bashing with this guy. Hopefully that doesn't make him too brittle so that some bad things happen. Because I honestly haven't tested this epoxy resin in cold temperature. So it might become so brittle that it shatters. Hopefully that does not happen, but I'll keep you guys posted and let you know. So last thing, talking about things becoming brittle. Last time I was out and about running, and I'm like a lot of guys, I use this FlySky. Let's see, I always forget their model numbers, but the FlySky FS GT3B radio system. And honestly, it's a pretty good performing radio. For a low cost system, there's not really a whole lot to complain about. It does the job really well. The only downside is I've noticed that there's a couple of little quality issues, but then again, one does get what one pays for. So on my last set of cold weather runs, I was tooling along and I went to full brake, as one often does when you have a car barreling down at a very high rate of speed. And I guess I don't know my own strength because the little arm here for reverse throttle snapped clean off. Shocked the living crap out of me. Did not expect to see that happen. So then I'm stuck with a radio that I got a bunch of receivers bound to that still is perfectly functional, except for the fact that the stupid little plastic piece broke off. So I got industrious. So I took some leftover fiberglass material that I had laying around, cut it in small strips, epoxied it to the broken section to basically make a patch to go all around this guy. Let that thing dry, and then put some heat shrink tube around it just so that I wasn't feeling fiberglass on my hand and scratching me up. It actually fits pretty well. The only problem with that, of course, is that now the clearance between that and the bottom of the unit is a lot lower. So I have to go in, and I don't know if you can see this too well with the screen here, but I had to physically chop out a portion of the underside of the radio here in order to allow enough clearance so I can go full reverse, because the new reinforced trigger guard is a lot thicker than its old counterpart. So these are the little things that you have to do when you're out there. This is living proof of my mantra: fly, fix, fly. Sometimes you got to break it in order for you to fix it, and find a way to make it stronger. So hope you guys enjoyed the update. As you see, I'm really trying to get everything prepared, or get all my fleet ready for the coming warmer weather. I'm getting a little bit jealous watching the other guys pull these big numbers, and see the guys talking about the triple digit clubs. So or the 100-mile-an-hour Rustler clubs and all these other things. So I think that I've now have the hardware across the fleet to start, pulling some big numbers. So again, like I've mentioned before, I'm still relatively new to this. I've only had my channel for just over a year. So there's definitely a lot of learning that I had to take care of in order to get up to speed. But now that I've got a lot of that stuff out of the way, you know, I'm having a blast, and I've got a little bit of experience under my belt. I've, done a lot of math, so I feel like I've done a lot of preparations. But, you know, now it's time to walk the walk, time to actually get out there and do something. So, like I said, I think I got the hardware to at least get me, in the right ballpark. And there's probably some other upgrades that are going to be coming along the way. I noticed that there aren't that many people pulling the big numbers on the Jayco foams. I have seen some. I've seen some 100+ mile an hour runs on a slash 4x4 base cars with Jayco foams. So I think I'm not giving up on them yet. But I somehow suspect that a pair of or at least one set of GRPs might be in my near future. But again, that's part of my thing. In addition to just my build-up approach, I'm also a cheap bastard, and you guys have heard that before. So if I can make it work with what I have, I'm going to try to do that. But I've got 3 very capable cars here, and I want to go out and I'm going to have fun with them. So as always, guys, remember the mantra: fly, fix, fly. Break it, fix it, do all over again. And remember to like, comment, subscribe, and let me know what you think. I really want to hear what you guys have to say, because I get a lot of great ideas from you guys. But also, it's just cool to interact with you guys and be a part of the community. So I'll see you guys on the next update. Peace.